What's up guys, Jay here. So a couple of weeks ago, John Riggs did his rankings of the Capcom NES titles. I reached out to John and said, you know, that's a really good idea. I'd like to do something like that, but I don't want to step on your toes and do something you've already done. And John, being much better at this than I am, said, no, do it, because by their very nature, lists are, you know, kind of solo to the user. Everyone's going to have a different list. So yeah, here we go. I am going to rank the Capcom NES titles and tell you why I think they are the rankings they are. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, up first is 1942. 1942 was one of the first Capcom games to release on the NES. You can tell by the weird kind of grid design in the box art there. But it is a port of an arcade game that made its way over to the NES. The game's a little slow, it's a little choppy, and it's not as fun as I would like it to be. I mean, it's a fine game, but it doesn't do what it does terribly well. So we're going to put 1942 at a C. Now, 1943, on the other hand, is a much better game. It's faster, the animations are better, the power-ups are better, the enemies are faster, and the world itself is just more interesting to be in. It's a better game. 1943, more solid gameplay, better looking, more fun. 1943 gets a B. Now, Adventures in the Magic Kingdom is super interesting. Unlike, say, like the Adventures of Bayou Billy from Konami, which tries to do 3 different types of gameplay and does none of them terribly well, Adventures in the Magic Kingdom gives you a bunch of different gameplay options and does all of them fairly competently. I really enjoy the Pirates level, I really enjoy the Haunted Mansion level, and as a Disney nerd, I like the trivia questions that are going throughout the game. So I'm going to give Adventures in the Magic Kingdom an A tier. Bionic Commando would have been an S. I loved it as a kid. Up until like yesterday when I played these games again, I would have told you, no, Bionic Commando was a perfect game. It would have been an S. Bionic Commando is an alright game that does some things very well and some things very, very poorly. While a good game and something that I can look fondly back as a kid, does not rank terribly high for me personally, I'm going to give Bionic Commando a C tier. Capcom Gold Medal Challenge 92 is a track and field game. And if you can tell by my svelte appearance, I am a natural track and field athlete. Which is decidedly not true. I don't care for track and field, I don't care for track and field games, and I don't care for this game. Gold Medal Challenge goes to an F tier. Alright, now we're on to some big hitters. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. The first game is so different than what I expected it to be, as someone who played DuckTales beforehand. And going back and playing it nowadays, either on the Disney Afternoon Collection that I have on the PS4, or playing it on classic hardware, it is a solid game, and it plays incredibly well. The music is great, the animations look great, it's a fun game. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers gets an A tier. Now, one of the big differences between John Riggs and I is Riggs called Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2 kind of the direct-to-VHS sequel of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Remember the gigantic clamshells that Disney used to put stuff out in? I disagree heartily with him on this one. I actually like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2 more than I like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 1. I think it is a stronger game, I think it looks better, and I think it plays better. I give Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2 our very first S ranking. The most 1980s game ever created by Capcom is codenamed Viper. You play the role of an American Special Forces agent that goes to South America to take out drug cartels. It is 1980s personified. It's a fine game. It does what it does. I'm not going to say it does it well, but it does what it does. And it does it competently. The jumping's a little weird. Having to press up and jump to get up to the upper levels as opposed to just making the platforms a little bit shorter is a little odd. But I do like that you have limited ammunition and you can pick up different weapons and rescue the hostages. So while not my perfect game, I give Codename Viper a solid B. Next up is Commando. Now, another one that if I had been ranking based on nostalgia alone, I probably would have ranked it up there as a B or an A. But it just does not hold up. Commando gets a D. Next up is Darkwing Duck. Oh, Darkwing. Darkwing Duck is an unforgivingly difficult game. There's some really neat mechanics in play here. I like the different weapons you can pick up. It feels a little bit like the Batman game, but it's not great. It looks beautiful. The storylines are funny. The characters are wonderful, but it's just not something that I can really get into. So I'm going to give Darkwing Duck a C tier. All right, up next, it's something I loved as a kid. It's Destiny of an Emperor. I really liked the idea of having your troop levels be your hit points in this game, which I thought was really neat. I thought the game played very well. Now that said, there's definitely some stuff in there I would change. You know, there's some things in there that are indicative of older RPGs on the NES. So it shows some weaknesses there. And while I want to give it an S rank based on how much I love it and how much fun I had playing it, looking at those weaknesses that the game has, I can only give Destiny of an Emperor an A rank. Now, DuckTales and DuckTales 2. Everyone fondly remembers DuckTales that has played it. It is a difficult game, but not to the point where you cannot beat it. Much like Mega Man, you're able to choose which levels you want to go to in which order. And there's some really neat puzzles in each level to play as a great platformer. And it brought us things like DuckTales Remastered from Way Forward and all kinds of other great platformers that kind of spawned out of its creation. I give DuckTales an S rank. DuckTales 2 took everything that DuckTales did well, didn't ruin it, and added onto it. Putting in the mechanic of being able to grab onto rings and stuff like that on the wall with Scrooge's cane, as well as just better enemy models, great, more animations, good music. I also give DuckTales 2 an S rank. Gargoyle's Quest 2 is a sequel to a Game Boy game. It's really neat. There's some overworld elements where you walk around as Firebrand, and then there's side-scrolling levels where you play as Firebrand. There are some annoyances I have with the game. It's the same stuff I had a problem with as a kid. Like the wing stamina and things like that. I mean, it's fine. It does what it does very well. But for me personally, I can't give it higher than a B rank. Ghosts and Goblins can kiss my ass. It is a solid F for me. Alright, if you guys have been paying attention to the channel, you know I'm a huge fan of G.I. Joe. If you guys watched the Scarlet unboxing from the new G.I. Joe Classified series toy line that came out. And there were some great G.I. Joe games on the NES. The first one was just entitled G.I. Joe. This is G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor. It is a really good game. It's not perfect. There's definitely some clunkiness involved. It maintains the weaknesses the first one has and doesn't really improve on them at all. So definitely not a perfect game, but it's a solid B. It's fun to play. Next up is one of my favorite Capcom games, Gunsmoke. I've played Gunsmoke for years, and there's not really much I would change about it. I think the game is fun. It's not perfect, but it takes the Commando design aspects and design aesthetic and makes them so much better by putting the Wild West motif on it and just tossing in a few improvements to make the gameplay a little bit better. I give Gunsmoke a solid B. Now, another one that I am glad I re-ranked these based on my current play as opposed to just nostalgic memories, because Legendary Wings I hated as a kid. Going back and playing it now, it's a significantly better game than I remember. Now, is it something I'm going to pick up and play on my own? Probably not, because it's not my type of game. It's not something I love, but it's better than I remember. It's not. I don't think it's an average game. I still find it below average, but it's not a complete failure. So I'm going to give Legendary Wings a D. The Little Mermaid is, I mean, it's okay. It's just not made for me. Unfortunately, I mean, I see some of the design aspects in play here, and I can appreciate them to a point. But I don't think it does anything terribly, innovative, and I don't think it does anything terribly well. It's just there, kind of. It's not made for me. It's not something I had fun with. I'm going to give Little Mermaid a D. Now, there are 3 games on this list from Capcom that if there was a ranking higher than an S, I would put them up there. And this game, Little Nemo the Dream Master, is one of them. This is one of my favorite games, flat out. Not even just Capcom games, just games. It is a brilliant game. It is a beautiful design from a simply gorgeous comic from the early 1900s, I believe. And it's wonderful in every way. Great character animations, great character designs. I love the aspect of collecting the different animals to help you out as you play through the game. It's perfect. I love Little Nemo the Dream Master. Solid S. Higher if it were possible. All right, up next, we've kind of got Murderer's Row here. It's time for Mega Man. Mega Man 1 is not as good as most people remember it to be, but it is not a bad game. There's a lot of very little things in Mega Man 1 that drive me up a tree. Mega Man kind of skates and slides a little bit when his locomotion stops. The robot masters aren't terribly well thought out. They're not great designs. I mean, outside of Gutsman is money, but everyone else is just kind of there. Like, Iceman looks like, kind of a knockoff Captain Cold from The Flash. It's a good game. It is a serviceable game, but it is not quite to the upper echelon of other Mega Man games. So I'm going to give Mega Man 1 a B. Now Mega Man 2, on the other hand, along with Little Nemo the Dream Master, and another game yet to be named, is one of those S+ tiers. It is a perfect game in my eyes. Great Robot Master design, spectacular animations, beautiful music, wonderful power-ups, great level design. Nothing in Mega Man 2 misses. It is one of my favorite games ever, and it is absolutely a hard S. Mega Man 3, I actually like more than Mega Man 2. Mega Man 3 has amazing visuals, great power-ups, adds some gameplay elements on top of it while not being overbearing, introduces Rush, and great robot masters, and fantastic music. Again, if one thing Mega Man does consistently, it's amazing music. Mega Man 3 is an S tier. Mega Man 4 is almost an S tier, but this is where things kind of take a step back from Mega Man 2 and 3. The lore of Mega Man kind of gets lost in the mix in this one. You know, like leading up to this, the robots were created for purposes. They were given jobs in society, and this is where things kind of get a little wackadoo. This is where things like Pharaoh Man appear, and so it's like the Mega Man lore kind of goes out the window a little bit, and things are just like, well, let's just go for absurdist now. It's still a really good game, don't get me wrong, but it just kind of, it takes a bit of a step back from Mega Man 2 and 3 levels. It's an A, and close to an S, but not quite there. Mega Man 5, much like Mega Man 4, wants to be an S and is very close to being an S, but is only an A. Similar problems that happen with Mega Man 4. Strange Robot Master decisions, and the game just doesn't quite feel perfect, I guess for lack of a better term. It's still a good game. It's still a fun game. It's still something I look forward to playing, but it is not the games that I will clear out time for like Mega Man 2 or 3 to play. And finally, we have Mega Man 6. Mega Man 6 slides back even further to the B tier to hang out with Mega Man 1. To me, this is kind of the weak point of Mega Man, where Mega Man kind of lost its way for a while. It is okay, and it's something that I will play. Like, I play through the Mega Man games probably every 2 or 3 years just to, you know, get through them all again, just to play them again because I love the series so much. But Mega Man 6 and Mega Man 1 are the two that I look at and go, alright, I guess I'll play them because I have to, but not because I'm happy to. So yeah, it's a B tier. Alright, we're through the hard part with Mega Man. Those are the hardest ones to rank on the entire list, but, you know, we're just going to kind of rapid fire through this. Next up, we have Mickey Mousecapade, which is a game I had as a kid, and I hated then. But kind of like Legendary Wings, I'm glad I played this again to kind of refresh my memory on it. It's not as bad as I remember. That's not to say it's a good game. It's still bad, but it is not something that I want to just, you know, take out and never play again. It's okay at what it does. I don't like the mechanics of kind of just randomly jumping and shooting at things to hope to find something hidden in a level, but it's alright. It's challenging. It's a D. It's not an F, but it is a D. Now, Mighty Final Fight, I first played this on the Capcom Mini Mega Mix cart that was released for the Game Boy Advance, and I didn't even know it existed at the time, so I played it there. But playing this on the NES is kind of magical. It's really good. The game looks good, it plays well. All 3 characters from Final Fight are in here, so you can choose from any of them to play as. I just personally chose Cody because he's my favorite. And I think it's a lot of fun. Like, it is a good side-scrolling beat-em-up for the NES. And yeah, if you can check this out, definitely do. I give Mighty Final Fight an A. Alright, Section Z. Section Z is not a game that is made for me. I don't care for the mechanics of it. I don't particularly care for the look of it. It is not something I had fun with as a kid. It's something I did not have fun with as an adult playing this. I am going to give Section Z... It's not an F. I'm going to give it a D. Yeah. Street Fighter 2010 is a game I wanted to pick up as a kid because I was convinced that this was the Street Fighter game for the NES. Something I was excited to play and something I wanted to play. Playing it as an adult, boy, how wrong was I. This game is so bad, and it is not Street Fighter at all. Street Fighter 2010 fails miserably. Not good. Oh man, this game. This game, I wish I was ranking based on nostalgic memories because Strider would be an S rank, but Strider kind of aged like milk. Now, I still like it. I still have fun with it. I still had fun with it playing it again, but it's a Metroidvania that doesn't do anything particularly well. Hitboxes are off. The jumps are bad when you're having to jump over spikes and stuff like that. And it's kind of a clunky game. I want to give this a higher rank, but if I'm being logical, at best, Strider is a B. If if I'm being honest, it's probably a C. Now, TailSpin, here's another game that, based on the cartoon I loved as a kid, I really wanted to be better than it is. And I remember really liking this game as a kid, but as an adult, playing this on both the Disney Afternoon Collection and playing this again here, oh boy, I do not like it. It does not control well. It does not look good. The music is okay, which you'd expect because the TailSpin music was pretty great, but the game itself just does not work for me. I give TailSpin a D. Trojan is... Now here's a game that I pumped hours into as a kid, and I loved then, and once again, I love now. Willow, based on the movie of the same name from LucasArts, or from Lucasfilm, is a wonderful game. I love the Willow franchise. I had a ton of the toys as a kid. I loved this game as a kid. I loved the movie as a kid. I had the novel. So there are definitely some nostalgia glasses in play here, but as an adult, I went back and played it again, and I still love it. I give Willow an S rank. All right, finally, the last game on this list, and one that is so much better than it has any right to be, is Yo Noid. Yo Noid is about the Domino's pizza mascot that stole pizza from people, the Noid. And yeah, I mean, it's... Talk about a weird property to get a video game, right? But talk about a property that does it well. Like, this game is just good. It's definitely not perfect, and I don't even think I'd call it great, but it is definitely a good game. So I'm going to give Yo Noid a B. All right, guys, there you have it. My response to John Riggs for his Capcom NES rankings. I really want to thank John. John has been just a wealth of knowledge and super helpful to this channel ever since he and I started talking. He's just a good dude. If you are not subscribed to John Riggs, you really should be. He does some amazing stuff. He does all these tier ranking videos, which are a ton of fun. And he also does some really neat stuff like open cart surgery, where he actually takes apart games and tries to get them to work, as well as doing some soldering and stuff like that beyond just like using the one-up card to clean the pins and things like that. It's really awesome. And, you know, on top of that, he's got a great family that feature in his videos as well. It's definitely one of my favorite channels, and I think you'd like it too if you check it out. So please do that. Guys, do let me know in the comments down below what you think of the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, let me know down below what you didn't like about it. And let me know what your rankings are. You know, if there's a link down below in the description to this tier so you can rank yourself, and you can let me know what your S rankings are and your F rankings are. I'm sure there are some people that think Ghosts and Goblins should be higher than an F, but guess what? You're wrong. Play it again. You're wrong. I promise you, you're wrong. Until next time, guys, do like the video if you enjoyed it. Be sure to hit the subscribe and notification button while you're here. And especially if you've watched this far and you're not subscribed yet, I mean, what harm's it going to do? I put out 2 videos a week. Until next time, I've been Jay. Thank you for watching. Play more games and stay square.